Today's video podcast is to address a question that I receive frequently. What is the date that the seller should insert in the T-47 affidavit that accompanies the survey? Is it the date of the survey or the date that the seller acquired the property, which may be after the survey? The answer is the survey date. And let me explain to you why that is important. When the Texas Department of Insurance allowed the title industry to start using an existing survey to insure property, it was when we determined that the definition of current survey meant a survey that shows exactly what the footprint of the improvements are on that property. Current didn't have to do with a date or within a certain period of the closing. It was, is it the current footprint of the property? So when the TDI, Texas Department of Insurance, changed the definition for us or explained the definition of current survey, we realized we could use an older survey as long as it was still the current footprint. The T-47 affidavit that is to be provided by the seller is to assure the title company that the survey is still current. So the date on that T-47 is to be the date of the survey. When a seller questions, well, how can I certify back to the date of the survey? I only acquired it 4 years ago and the survey is 15 years old. Well, remember, that seller probably, most likely, got a T-47 affidavit signed by his seller certifying that. And as long as the seller hasn't made any changes, then he can rely on that affidavit and the fact that he has not made any changes to certify back to the date of the survey. Further, since it is just the footprint of the improvements, he can literally see how the house is set and see that there's been no pool on that existing survey, and if there is now a pool, he knows that a change has been made. So he can literally walk the property and make sure the footprint has not changed. My biggest problem that we're having with using existing surveys is that it has passed hands now 4 or 5 times, and the survey is quite old, and there is a likelihood that a fence may have been replaced. People forget to add in, oh yes, that fence was replaced. It was falling down when we bought it, so we replaced it. But they seem to think that just because they replaced a fence, that it didn't change the footprint. That may be the case, but oftentimes when you build a new fence, you have to go around enlarged landscaping. And if that tree that was 10 years old when you bought the house is now 25 years old, it probably is bigger, and that fence might have had to go around that tree. So when the seller signs his affidavit, make sure he recites what changes have been made from the day of the survey, and if changes were made from the day between the time the survey was provided and when he bought, he should compare it to his affidavit and make sure that was added. Again, what the title company needs is an affidavit to show that that survey is current as to its footprint, not current as to it being in recent weeks. Please be sure that your seller completes that accurately, and we will be able to accept that affidavit corresponding to a survey that has not changed. Thank you. We hope this has been helpful to you. Allegiance Title wants to be your trusted resource for results.